You know where you are. This is the Plug Podcast. I am Bushy. With me again, Metal Mike.
Welcome to the plug. Crack a beer, rope and get the drugs. It's time to rock with some motherfucking thugs. Bushy pussy face, Metal Mike boys. Talking about the latest metal band that they love. Fuck around, get your ram to your front door. Rock and roll, let it go till the amp blow. Turn it up, let the Alpine blast. It's time to get high with the Plug Podcast. Goddamn.
All right, what is up, everybody? I am Bushy, one half of the Plug Podcast, Music and More, with Bushy and Metal Mike. And I thought maybe we'd start doing this YouTube thing. Everybody else is on there. We might as well jump on that bandwagon, try to get our name out there a little bit more as well. So yeah, starting soon when we record episodes, I will be recording them in video as well. I don't edit video, so obviously all the uncensored, unfiltered shit that you that we take out of the episodes when I edit those, they're absolutely gonna be on these videos. Metal Mike doesn't even know that I'm going to start doing this, but I just figured out some new tricks. I've been working a lot with my soundboard. I highly recommend this Rodecaster Pro for podcasting. It is the greatest thing, and I use it with my radio show on thatmetalstation.com. A lot of cool features. I was able to take a phone call. That was a test run the other day when I was doing a spot show Sunday night. So that was really cool. So yeah, we're going to be releasing video. This was a political channel, but I don't have time to do the politics thing all the time. I send out my stuff on Facebook, and devoting an entire channel to it, while it would be fun if I had the time to do it, I just don't have the time to do it. Especially not with my work schedule anymore, and then trying to live a life. We will be doing this. I really hope that Metal Mike and I discuss this new Metallica album. I see a lot of Metallitards out there talking about how it's the best thing since the Black Album. I don't get it. I did finally finish listening to the record this morning. It's about 10:15 in the morning here in Western North Carolina. It took me 3 times to get to the halfway point. The first time, 72 seasons, I kind of dug that. The second song I wasn't digging. Went back, started it over, a couple days later. Same thing. I didn't even get to Lux Eterna, and I love that song. That's a banger. It's lazy as far as the riff goes, but it is a banger. At least it's thrashy. And then I finally get to Lux Eterna, and I get to that next song, and that was just such tripe. I don't really remember what that song was. Crown of barbed wire, blah 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 blah. It was not good. But I did finally finish it this morning. I think there was maybe one more song. I couldn't tell you which one it was. I know it was definitely not that 11-minute plus song at the fucking end of it. Look, I'm not a fan of prog anyway. I don't mind a long song every once in a while. I mean, Injustice for All was all long songs, 8-9 minutes a song. But it was a good record, even without being able to hear Jason's bass. This is not great. It's mediocrity at best, at absolute best. I don't think James sounds very good. Maybe it's just because he's showing his age, but he seems very monotone the whole time. Lars has some good parts. He has some not so good parts. Kirk's never been this virtuoso guitar player. I was let down by the guitar solo in Lux Eterna. I thought he did a great job on the title track, 72 Seasons. But a lot of this album sounds very loady, and I'm not a fan of load or reload. Are there a couple tracks I like off each album? Sure. I'd be a liar if I said that's not the case. But it's not good. And I hate to say that, because I was looking forward to a banger of a Metallica record. Hardwired was pretty decent. I know that I absolutely loved the entire first album. I thought that was really good. The second, and it's hit or miss for me. Admittedly, I've said it for years and years and years. I'm a Megadeth fan. I'm a much bigger Megadeth fan. Those are my boys. I've liked them from the very beginning. Having said that, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead still is in rotation for me. I play that at least once every week or so. It's fucking solid. Reminds me of old school Megadeth, which I think is what the fans have been wanting for a long time. They've been trying to get their way back into that thrashier sound. Dystopia was a banger of a record, although not as thrashy, but it's got some thrash elements in there. Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. Dude, We'll Be Back Alone buries anything I've heard on this new Metallica album, 72 Seasons. Now, having said all this, great for the guys, man. They're still making new music. That's something a lot of these legacy acts are not doing. You know, they're making new music. They're putting new albums out there. So that's awesome. Are they going to sound like they did back in the early 80s? Of course not. You know, these are 60-year-old men. I know. I don't think they could play Kill 'Em All in its entirety on stage. And it's not a long album, but it's a brutal, fast, heavy album. I don't know that they could do it at this age. So I don't expect them to be thrashing, you know, at 100 miles an hour for an entire record. But I also wish they wouldn't go to that weird, we're a hard rock band, we're edgy because we're arguably the biggest metal band on the planet, but we're going to do this slow, groove-oriented shit instead of thrashing your balls for a minute. And you have elements. 72 Seasons had elements. Lux Eterna had elements. You know, and there was one more song I really dug. The rest of it sounds like Load and the Black Album. And I kind of like the Black Album. But man, I don't know. I know everyone wants to make this a Metallica Megadeth debate, but that's because you guys keep posting about how old this buries Megadeth. Man, suck my dick. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. The better guitar player is obviously named Dave Mustaine, and Kiko Loureiro is a brilliant guitar player. Dave always has a solid band. I mean, hell, even the dude from White Lion, if you watch our live clips, that dude lays it down, man. I still think The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead is a better album. I could be biased because I prefer Megadeth anyway. I like Dave's riffage. I like the way he composed and structures songs so much more than I like the way Metallica does it. I like the chugging riffage of Metallica a lot. How could you not? I mean, they like to chug. There just wasn't enough of it on this album, and when it was there, it was so slow. It was very loady. It was very Black Album, sad but true shit. And I just can't. But check it out. We're going to be doing this when we record. I've still got a surprise Metal Mike with that news. So we will have this YouTube channel with all the uncensored stuff, unedited. I'm not going to have graphics and such because I can't do that shit. But yeah, make sure you tune in, subscribe, like, share, do all that stuff so that people know, they know what's about to happen with this podcast. We're just trying to take it to another place, another level. We will see you guys on the flip side. Motherfuckers, buy vinyl.